this video, we are going to learn how to configure cycle counts using the inventory count configuration page. Previously, when we configured cycle counts for any item, it would create custom records for every item location and bin combination. But now, we can use the standard next count date, last count date, and count interval fields available on the item records. Before we configure cycle count for the items, we need to set up a few configurations for inventory count. To do this, we'll need to go to Setup, Company, and General Preferences. On this page, go to Custom Preferences and scroll to Thwarna Inventory Count to enter the setup details. First off, we need to select an author for the emails that will be sent out through inventory count. Then, in the Inventory Count Configuration Recipients field, enter the email addresses of the recipient. We can also enter multiple recipients if needed, but remember to separate each email address with a comma. In order to activate the configuration, we also need to check the Activate Configuration checkbox at the bottom of the section. Click Save once all these details have been entered. If we leave the Activate Configuration checkbox empty, the items will be counted. However, the next count date will not be updated based on the count interval. Once we have finished entering all the configuration details on the setup page, the recipients that we specified earlier will receive an email when the next count date arrives. This email contains a CSV file with the items that match the corresponding next count date. Once those items have been counted, the next count date on the item record will be updated with the count interval. To navigate to the cycle count configuration page, go to Inventory Count, and Inventory Next Count Date Configuration. On this page, we have different filters like Item, Location, and Classification. We can also filter using the next count dates and last count dates. On this page, to filter the items, we need to make a selection in the Item or Location field. If we don't do this and then try to click Filter Items, we will see an error pop up. We need to select a location and then click Filter Items. This pulls out all the items available in that location. We can apply multiple filters at once as well. If we scroll down, we will see a list of all the items that fit our selected filter criteria. This list also displays the location inventory classification, count interval, last count date, and next count date for items if that information is available. If we need to assign a next count date and count interval to an item, select that item using the checkbox next to it. We can also click Mark All to select all of the items on the page. Here, I will just select a few items based on our requirements and then select the next count date and count interval using the fields above. So here I'll enter the next count date and put the count interval as 10. Once we've selected the items that need to be configured, set the next count date, and entered the count interval, we can click Submit to apply the information that we entered. Once we have clicked Submit, we will see that we are no longer able to press that button again while the information is pending. The processing message will remain at the top of the screen until we click Refresh to see the progress. When we do this, we will see a green confirmation message. Now, when we open the item record that we have just configured, we will be able to view the next count date and count interval on the item location sublist. So here we see that there are values in the next count date and count interval columns. Now when these items are counted, the last count date columns will be updated with the date on which the items were counted, and the next count date will change based on the count interval. So this is how we can configure cycle counts for all items and locations. you.